Good day, students. So for this video lesson, we will be talking about operations on functions. Specifically, how do we add or subtract functions? For this video, the objectives is the students must be able to apply operations on functions. Dapat kapag tapos ng video lesson na ito, dapat marunong na kayo mag-add or subtract ng functions. Okay? Uh, this video will be divided into two parts. The first part is we'll talk about addition and subtraction of functions, while the second part will talk about multiplication and division of functions. Okay, so after those two videos, objectives is the students must be able to perform operations on functions already. Okay, then we have the prerequisites, or before you proceed with this video lesson, ano ba yung mga dapat na alam nyo na? Ano yung mga dapat na natutunan na ninyo prior to this video lesson? So the prerequisites are, you must already understand what functions are, or you must already know how to determine if a relation is a function. Then last, you must know how to combine like terms already. So, kung hindi nyo pa naalala or kung medyo nalilito pa sa ating prerequisite number 2, meron tayong additional video, meron tayong separate video for that. Okay? So, knowing those, the video objectives and the prerequisites, let's now jump doon sa ating lesson pattern. Okay. So, example number 1. We have here two functions, g of x and h of x. And g of x is equals to x squared plus 6. And then h of x is equals to 4x squared minus 7x minus 10. Now we are asked to find for the sum of the g of x and the h of x, or g plus h of x. And also we are asked to find for the difference of the two functions. Okay. So, sige, unahin muna natin yung addition. In adding functions, we have some steps to follow. Okay, so we have here, if you can see, what is asked is to find the sum of g and h of x. Now, how do we do it, or how do we add functions? First step, first thing that we have to do is, based on this formula, g plus h of x, this is also equal to, this must be equal to g of x, sorry, ibahin natin, yan. So, it must be equal to g of x plus h of x. Yan. So, given this formula, we must now substitute. First thing is we have to substitute. Substitute. Yan. What do we substitute? Substitute natin yung values, yung given na value ng mga function natin dito sa formula natin. Okay? So, our function will look like this once we substitute. So, g of x, unahin natin yung g of x. Unahin natin yung g of x. So, we have g of x is equals to ito. So, g of x is equals to x squared plus 6. Followed by plus h minus x. Ito, h minus x. So, ano ang value ni h of x natin? This one. So, we have here h of x is equals to 4x squared minus 7x minus 10. Yan. Okay? So, next, substitute na natin. What do we have to do? So, since meron tayong mga parentheses class ng students, we have to eliminate this parentheses. Kailangan natanggal natin yan. Okay? So, take note, before that, in addition, we have, kami tayo ng ibang kulay. So, in addition, we have commutative property of addition, wherein, sinabi natin, x plus y, Pag pinagbaliktad natin yan, this is also equal to y plus x. Or lagyan natin ang values. So, natin 3 plus 2 is 5, wherein 2 plus 3 is also equal to 5. So, ano ang use natin dito in this particular lesson? So, since we are using, or we are to add functions, in order for us to drop or to eliminate yung mga parentheses na ito, yung mga nakikita ninyo class, we just have to simply remove it. Ganun lang, simple lang. Automatic lang, i-drop lang natin yung mga parentheses. Bakit? Why? Kasi even pagbalik rin natin yung dalawang functions, sabi natin mauna si h of x or mauna si h of x kaysa kay g of x, still we will arrive at the same answer. Bakit? Because of this property. Because of the commutative property of addition. Okay? So again, kapag addition, just drop the parentheses. Ganun lang kadali. Okay, so here, drop the parentheses. So, i-drop natin yung mga yan. So, pag sinabi natin drop, tatanggalin natin. So, ano magiging itsura ng ating function once we proceed to the next step? So, it will become x squared plus 6 plus 4x squared minus 7x minus 10. Yan. Okay? So, ganun lang. Now, na-substitute na natin, first step, na-substitute na natin yung values ng ating functions. Na-drop na rin natin yung ating mga parentheses. What do we have to do next? The third step, or the next step that we have to do is, we now have to combine like terms. Yan. So, on this video lesson, hindi natin masyadong papadaanan on how to combine like terms. We have a separate video for this already. So, kung hindi nyo na maalala, kung medyo nalilito kayo sa combining like terms, i-check nyo na lang yung link na naka-provide sa description ng video. Okay? So now, let's proceed to combining like terms. Paano ba tayo nagko-combine ng like terms? We combine terms with the same base and exponents. So, first thing pala, we have to do is to arrange muna. Arrange muna natin itong mga functions, itong mga terms natin. Wherein dapat nandito sa harap yung the term with the highest exponent. Okay? So, what is our highest exponent here? We have this one. So, 4x squared. Ano ang like term niya? This one. Plus x squared. Followed by minus 7x. Then, wala nang ibang x. Doon na tayo sa constant. Minus 10 plus 6. Palitan natin ito. Ayusin na natin ito. So, this is minus 7x. Okay. So, now, na-arrange na natin. We just arrange it here. Arrange. What we have to do next is yung combine like terms na class. So, in combining like terms, paano ngayon? Kinokopya natin yung base and exponent. So, for this one, pareha sila. They are like terms. We copy the base and the exponent. Then, we proceed to the operations doon sa ating mga coefficients or sa mga numerical value. So, dito sa dalawa, ano ba yung mga numerical value natin? We have here 4. And dito sa kabila, we have 1. Okay? So, let's perform the operation. 4 plus 1, that is 5. 5x squared. Next, ano ang sunod na term natin? 7x. Meron ba siyang like term? Wala. Therefore, drop na natin yan. I-copy na natin diretso. And now, let's proceed to our constant. Negative 10 plus 6 is equals to negative 10 plus 6 is negative 2. Yan. So, meron pa ba tayong, ito na yung answer natin, meron pa ba tayong pwedeng i-combine na like terms dito? Wala na po. Therefore, our final answer will be 5x squared minus 7x minus 4. This is now your final answer. Okay, let's proceed to subtraction. So this time, we are asked for the difference between g of x and h of x. Okay. So kapag ganito naman, our formula is g of x minus h of x. Yan. So, ganun din naman. Ganun yung steps to follow natin in subtraction is also the same with addition. So, first thing, we have to substitute. So, game. Substitute natin. Formula, g minus h of x is equals to g of x minus h of x. So, what is our g of x? It is x squared plus 6 minus, we have minus since we are subtracting. H of x is 4x squared minus 7x minus 10. Yeah. So, wala pa tayong binagong value class. Substitute pa lang tayo. Okay. Next step is, we have to drop parentheses. We have to drop itong mga parentheses natin. Okay. So, paano tayo nagda-drop ng parentheses kapag subtraction? Parehas ba ito doon sa ginawa natin kanina sa addition, wherein basta lang natin din-drop yung parentheses, kasi nga sabi natin we have commutative property. Parehas ba yun? So, to answer that, let's check this one. So, let's say, gamitin natin sa example kanina. So, let's say we have 3 minus 2. This is equals to positive 1. What about this one? Paano kapag binaliktad natin siya? Paano kapag 2 minus 3? Is this still equal to positive 1? The answer is no. This will already be negative 1. So, magkaiba po sila ng sagot. Okay? So, ano ang connect nito? Ano ang connection nito? Ano ang connection nito dito sa lesson natin about subtracting functions? In subtracting functions, in subtracting two functions, hindi tayo basta lang nagtatanggal ng parenthesis class. What we do here is, step by step. In dropping the parentheses sa subtracting functions, dito sa ating first function, yung first function natin, let's say yung g of x, dito nagda-drop lang tayo ng parentheses. Automatic, pinakopy lang natin yan. But, dito sa ating pangalawang function, this time, instead of just dropping the parentheses, we now distribute yung ating sign. So, we are subtracting. So, this is negative. Okay? Kapag subtraction of functions, we distribute this negative to each of the term inside the parentheses. So, distribute negative to 4x squared. Then, next, distribute it to negative 7x. And last, distribute it to negative 10. Paano po, sir, yung distribute? What do I mean exactly by distribute? It means multiplying the negative sign doon sa kada term na meron tayo. Dito sa pangalawang function. Multiply. Okay? So, para mas maintindihan, gawin natin ang example na ito. So, gamitin natin ang ibang kulay. So, okay? So, again, we have to distribute itong ating negative sign to each of these terms. Dito sa pangalawang function natin, sa h of x. Dito. We have to distribute the negative sign each of the term here in our h of x. Okay, paano yun? So negative, since we're subtracting, negative times positive 4x squared. What is negative times positive? That will give us negative. So negative 4x squared. Next, para yan dito sa 4x squared. Next, negative times negative 7x. So negative times negative, that will give us positive 7x. And last, negative times negative 10, negative times negative, that is positive 10. Ganyan. So what we did, class, is that dinistribute natin yung ating negative sign or yung ating subtract sign to each of the terms on our second function. Ganon po tayo nagda-drop ng parentheses in subtracting functions. Okay, so hopefully that is clear. We now proceed to our next step. Our next step is arrange. Arrange muna natin yung ating function. Paano natin siya ina-arrange? We arrange it wherein nandito sa unahan, sa leftmost, yung term with the highest exponent. So dito, what is the term with the highest exponent? It is x squared. So we have x squared, yun, this one, minus, ito, negative 4x squared, minus 4x squared, followed by 7x, this is 7x, plus 10, and plus 6. Okay? So, may nakalimutan ba tayo, class? Wala naman. Okay, now, kapag ganito na-arrange na natin siya, natanggal na natin yung parenthesis, na-arrange natin siya, we arrive to our last step, which is combine like terms. Yan. So, combining like terms, we just add or subtract the coefficients of the terms with the same base and exponent. So, nasaan yung mga like terms natin dito? This one, these are like terms. Si 7x, ito si 7x, wala siyang like term. Wala siyang kaparehas na x yung base with an exponent of 1. Okay, wala. Then we have here like terms ulit, which are our constants. Okay, so let's proceed to combining these like terms. So x squared minus 4x squared, we copy the base and the exponent. Then proceed to subtraction, since this is subtract minus, proceed to subtraction of the coefficients or the numerical values. So dito, what is its numerical value? We have 1, and then dito we have 4. So 1 minus 4, that is negative 3. So negative 3x squared, then followed by plus 7x or positive 7x. We just copied 7x kasi wala naman siyang like terms. Okay? Then for our constants, 10 plus 6 is easy, positive 16. And this is now your final answer. Okay? So, I hope you guys learn, natutunan kung paano or how we add or subtract two functions. So, for some exercises, for example 2, I encourage your class or students to post this video and try this on your own. Try to find, we have two functions here on example number 2. We have f of m is equals to m cubed minus 3m squared plus 5m, and g of m is equals to 4m cubed plus m squared plus 5m minus 15. And we are asked to find for the sum of f plus g of m and g minus f of m. Yeah. So I encourage the class or students, please pause this video and try this example or exercise on your own. Okay. So, hopefully, you students or you class, post this video ay nag-try din kayo. So, tignan natin kung tama ba yung mga sagot ninyo. Tignan natin kung na-apply nyo ba ng maayos yung mga natutunan ninyo doon sa previous example. Okay, so first one. We have, sabi dito, we are asked to find for the sum of f and g of m. So again, what is our formula kapag ganito? We have f of, kanina, wait lang, kanina ang sabi natin, di ba, f of x plus g of x. Okay? But this time, hindi x yung ginamit natin. Instead, m. So our formula for this one is f of m plus g of m. Okay? Take note, hindi palaging x yung ating ginagamit. Sometimes, ibang variables. Okay? So, okay muna natin ito. So now, our first step, substitute. Substitute. So, our f of m is m cubed minus 3m squared plus 5m plus g of m, which is 4m cubed plus m squared plus 5m minus 15. Okay. Next step, what do we have to do? We have to drop these parentheses. Kailangan natin ito i-drop. So, drop. So, since we are adding, since we are trying to find for the sum, sabi nga natin kanina, just drop it. Wag na natin pahirapan. So, drop lang natin. Treat it as a simple method. Ganun, no? So, m cubed minus 3m squared plus 5m. Then, copy the sign. Plus 4m cubed plus m squared plus 5m minus 15. Yan. Next, what's our next step? Arrange. Correct. So, natututunan nyo na class. So, arrange. Arrange it wherein the term with the highest exponent is on the leftmost part of our function. Okay? So, what is the term with the highest exponent here? We have this one. Yung ating cube. Ang ating cube. This one. We have m cube and 4m cube. That is the highest exponent. So arrange, let's arrange. We now have m cube, then plus 4m cube, followed by yung square. Tama? So negative 3m squared. This is negative 3m squared plus m squared, followed by, we have m. Yan, may dalawa tayong m. Plus 5m, plus 5m, and minus 15. Yung constant natin. Okay? So, finally, we are to combine like terms. Yan. So, let's do this. Be with me, students. Gawin natin ito. So, m cube, wait lang. Isa-isay natin ano yung mga like terms natin. Again, our like terms are the terms with the same base and exponent. So, we have here m cube plus 4m cube, like terms. Then, another like term, we have negative 3m squared and positive m squared. And, itong dalawang 5m. Constant, yung constant natin, wala siyang like term. Isa lang kasi yung constant. Now, let's add. Let's perform the operations, I mean. So, So how do we add or how do we combine like terms? Copy the base and the exponent, then proceed to the operations doon sa ating numerical values. So dito, what's our numerical value? 4. Dito naman, we have 1. So 1 plus 4, that is positive 5. Next, itong pangalawa, m squared. Copy the base and exponent. So negative 3, this is our numerical value. Then dito, positive since we are adding 1. So negative 3 plus 1, ilan yun? Negative 2. Okay? Then 5m, copy the base, exponent niya. So meron 1 yan dyan class. 5 plus 5 will give us positive 10. Then we are just to copy the constant since wala naman siyang number. So negative 15. Okay? So using lang natin yung pagkakasulat. Our final answer in adding f plus g of m with the following functions given. The sum will be 5. Sorry. Pangit yung sulat. So we have 5m cubed minus 2m squared plus 10m minus 15. This is now your final answer. Last, let's proceed to subtraction. So take note. So, we have here some tricky exercise. So, medyo tricky ito class. Kanina, sa previous example, we have, sabi na, pinapahanap sa atin is g minus h of x. Wherein the formula is g of x minus h of x. Yan. But this time, tignan natin yung tanong. So, ang pinapahanap sa atin is g minus f of m. So, nauna to si g, bago si f. Okay? So, on this example, I want to take note sa inyo class na hindi palaging nauna yung unang function na binigay. So, please be careful. Basahin ng maigi yung hinihingi. So, this one, hindi hinihingi sa atin yung f minus g. Instead, we are asked for g minus f of m. So, our formula, instead of having it as f of m minus g of m, instead of having it this way, we now have g of m minus f of m. Bakit? Kasi yung hinihingi is g minus f, not f minus g. Okay? So, please make that clear. Teka lang, erase muna natin itong mga nasa taas natin. Para hindi kayo mabother dito. So, ayan. So, our formula is this one. Ayan. Okay. So, what is our first step? We have to, ito pala, baka hindi na rin natin ito. So, what is our first step? We have to substitute. We have to substitute. Yan. So, let's substitute our values. Subtraction ito class ha. We have g of m is 4m cubed plus m squared plus 5m minus 15 minus f of m, which is m cubed minus 3m squared plus 5m. Yan. Next step, we have to drop the parentheses. We have to drop these, yung mga parentheses natin. And, kanina napag-usapan natin sa previous example, in subtracting functions, dito sa unang function natin, let's underline this one. Dito sa unang function natin, ginagawa natin is that, automatic dinadrop lang natin siya. Dito. Dinadrop lang natin ito, yung parenthesis natin dito. But on this second function, ito, what we have to do is to distribute itong ating negative sign to each of the terms inside our second function. So, di-distribute natin yan dyan isa-isa. Yan. So, let's do this. First function, just drop the parentheses. We will have 4m cubed plus m squared plus 5m minus 15. Okay, dito na tayo. Next. So, negative, since this is minus, negative times positive m cubed. So, negative times positive, that will give us negative m cubed. Next. Ayan, unang distribute yon. Next one, negative times negative 3m squared. So, dalawang negative will give us positive 3m squared. Next one, negative times positive 5m. So, negative times positive, that is negative 5m. Yan. So, ganun. We have to distribute the sign to each of the terms inside our second function. Okay? Na-distribute na natin. Next step is we have to arrange. So, arrange. Alam nyo na ito, class. So, if you reach this point, you probably know how to arrange it already. Okay? So, we have 4m cubed. Then, sige, underline natin para makita rin. We have 4m cubed followed by ito, m cubed din. So, minus m cubed or m raised to 3. Then we have m squared, positive m squared, plus 3m squared, plus 5m, minus 5m. Then we have the constant, negative 15. Yan. Lastly, combine like terms. Yan. So, ito na yung pinakamasarap na part kapag nag-add or subtract tayo ng functions class. Combining like terms. Para ka lang nagbubuo na ng puzzle kapag na-reach mo na itong point na ito. So, nasaan yung mga like terms natin? Nandito. M cubed. We have the m squared. And then yung 5m, dalawang 5m. One positive 5m and one negative 5m. And we have a constant, negative 15. Okay. So, let's do this. Let's combine the like terms. Copy the base and the exponent. Then proceed to the addition or subtraction. Subtraction ito, since this is negative, of the numerical values or coefficients. This is 1. So, 4 minus 1. That will give us 3m cubed. Next, m squared. They are like terms. So, again, this is 1. 1, positive 1, plus 3. That is positive 4. This one, positive 5m. Sige, copy muna natin yung ating base. Exponent is 1. So, positive 5 minus 5, 0. Then we have our constant. Wait, balik yung sulat natin. Our constant. Yan, 15. Negative 15. Now, let's have our final answer. 3m cubed plus 4m squared. This time, is this itong term na ito, is this positive or is this negative? 0m. None. So, it is neither positive nor negative. Since this is 0, wala siyang sign. So, kapag ganito class, eliminate na ito. So, hindi na natin sinasama kapag may 0. Hence, we have a property, 0 property, wherein any number multiplied to 0 will give us 0. So, automatic tanggal na yan. Then, since natanggal na yon, we are left with negative 15. So, our final answer on this example will be 3m cubed minus 4m squared 3m cubed plus 4m squared minus 15. Okay? So, I hope you got our lesson pretty well. So, sana naiintindihan ninyo class. And that, sana tama yung mga nakuha ninyong sagot doon sa ating exercise. So, with that, uh, that's all for this video lesson and I hope you a good day. Thank you for watching.